Good afternoon. Welcome to Cruise Amigos.
I thought we were going to be out. I thought we were going to be out, and then you were going to make a big announcement and then bring me on. Gee whiz, man.
No. I was going to make a big announcement anyway, because the Amigo that's over here, okay, that is Nanook of the North John. He's drinking a brandy to keep from freezing to death. Folks, it's 38 below zero for Nanook of the North up there in that place in Minnesota. I don't know. Are you over the line in Canada or something to get that cold?
One toke over the line, sweet Jesus. Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Actually, I'm right.
That's what you do with the pot you grow. You do one toke and Jesus and sit around in 38 degrees. Now,
you know, that's something else. You talk about the fact that I know stuff, and we should talk about the percentages of THC that's in pot, and we should make our listeners really smart about that, because they are world travelers, and it's not, it's not a joke. I mean, you remember the line about this is not your father's Chevrolet or Oldsmobile, wasn't it? This isn't your father's Oldsmobile. That was their big pitch before they went out of business.
Buick.
No, it was Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile?
Yeah, it's not your father's Oldsmobile.
Okay.
But, but that's the thing, too, is, if you happen to get, hey, and Jack joined us.
Yeah, Jack.
Hi, Jack. I can say that. I'm not in an airplane.
Look at that. It's 35 degrees in Conroe, Texas. Holy cow, that's cold for him.
Yeah, that's...
that's not minus 38. And there's Elizabeth down in Cozumel. I promise you, it's not minus down there.
Hey, Liz.
By the way, I have to ask, at minus 38, if you go outside and you lick a light pole, does your lips stick to the pole?
Not your lips.
Not your lips. Your tongue.
Your tongue will. Your lips won't.
And why is that?
That's a good question, but maybe they got enough grease or whatever, an emollients on them that they will release. But it's your tongue. I don't know if you looked at your tongue under a microscope, but it looks, each taste bud's a little a mushroom sort of thing. And when you stick that tongue onto that frozen surface, though it's warm enough that it melts initially, and then there's not enough blood flow to those little tongue taste buds that they are attached. And there's two ways to get it off. There's the easy way, or there's the quick way, and there's the painful way.
Yank it, and it just peels a layer.
And it just takes and it will grow back in 11 days. It's for some reason
11 days your tongue grows back.
Yeah, it will grow back. You're sloughing off your taste buds all the time, and every 11 days. So if you burn your tongue or you bite it or something, it's 11 days is the magic number. But the other thing, of course, is to go get some warm, not hot, but some warm water, and start pouring it right there where your tongue is, and then it will melt the pipe enough that it will. Let it go, and you get it back.
Now that we've totally talked about tongues, Now, folks, how often on a travel show, a cruise show, do you get to talk about your tongue? I have to admit that's the first time I've mentioned tongue on any of my broadcasts.
Now, I know a story about tongue that you probably have heard if you ever been to the Grand Ole Opry in the old days.
I've been to the Grand Ole Opry.
Okay, now, so who was the tall guy that kind of discovered Dolly Parton? What was his name?
Yeah.
So one of our typers here will know who's the tall guy on the Grand Ole Opry. He's passed on. All the old people, of course, have passed on in the Grand Ole Opry, but not Slim Pickens, not little Jimmy Dickens, not. Who was the guy that kind of discovered Dolly Parton? Well, I can search for it here in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. It's while he's searching, I've had a really good week this week. Which I'm going to tell you.
You have had Porter Wagner's who I want to talk about,
Wagner.
but let's hear about your week, and then we're going to come back to Porter Wagner and a story about a tongue.
No, go ahead. We're getting
Jack.
sex bombed again, folks.
Oh, by whom?
by somebody that I can't pronounce the name because I'm not sure what language.
Oh,
it's
because
in.
that's in Russian. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a sex bomber,
Do you know how to
and I am
remove
going
them?
to go boom block. Okay,
Okay,
that
good.
person went away.
Okay, well, Porter Wagner told a joke almost every time on the Grand Ole Opry, usually on a commercial because then it was never put out to the public. So each time that the guests were there, it was a new joke to them. I don't know if you know that, but there's a joke that Johnny Carson's sidekick Ed McMahon told every time. Do you know that joke?
Probably.
Okay, but I'll do that joke for you one day too.
Okay.
But the Porter Wagner joke is about how he was sitting in a diner one day, and the guy next to him ordered a tongue sandwich. And he says, "Oh my God, I would never ever eat anything that comes out of the mouth of a cow. That is just disgusting." And he turns to the waitress and says, "I'll have a couple of eggs, please."
Okay, I hear you. Kaboom. I didn't load up my bong.
Ah, darn.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't counting on doing that. Anyway, hey guys, glad you guys stopped in for some silliness today. But first of all, we'll say the third amigo. I know his name starts with an M. Melvin or
Melvin, magician.
Monty or
Oh, do you know what you get if you take the
Mussolini
magic
or
out of magician?
a magician.
What do you get if you take the magic out of magician?
I don't know.
Ian.
Oh, okay. His name's not Ian. It starts with an M.
Okay.
You're confusing me.
Just remember the song Abraham,
Martin.
Video, and John.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, I was going to try to say that we don't know where Amigo Martin is today, but that's really not fair because the last show we did before Christmas, I'm pretty sure he said that he had some kind of family something today and wouldn't be with us. So I'm not really fussing about Amigo Martin. Now, I've got to share with you guys some news. Now,
News.
a lot of you guys
News.
know
Oops,
that
this
I've
way.
booked cruises out the wazoo. I don't know, 17 of them or something.
Where on your body is the wazoo, by the way? I've always wondered where that is.
That's one of the unmentionable.
But yet you can say up the wazoo and that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So, but because I've got all these cruises booked, I needed to develop a new income stream to pay for cruising.
Because selling drugs to teenagers it's a declining thing now.
That's definitely not a business for me.
Yeah.
No. However, I have developed my own home COVID test.
A home
Now,
you can take this at home.
The Abbott Binex, whatever the hell that thing is from the Abbott that they're now charging, it's gone up to $35 a piece, and you have to buy 6 at a time. So that was $210 to get a home test.
That's a third of a cruise.
Yeah, of course.
I measure everything in cruises. See.
So, and all they do is they send you a thing on your phone. You know, it's going to come in on my phone. It's going to come in on my phone, and it's going to say the dude is negative.
Negative. Yeah.
Okay, and you just show that to the people, and when you get on the boat, right, and they say, "Go." Okay, so I can do that.
Okay.
So I had to come up with a scientific method to properly test people, and it's got to be masses of people because, folks, and I'm not charging $35 a piece like Abbott's doing. Okay, this is going to be $19.95.
$19.95, and you get a coupon for a future visit.
Absolutely. Okay, now here's what you do. It's really simple. It's got to be simple for
it's got to be
people like Martin to do over there in the UK. All right. Well, that's sort of it. You take 3 fingers of bourbon. Okay. That's very similar to that. Now you pour 3 fingers of bourbon into a glass. That's
Right.
pretty close. Okay. And you fill it up with ice and Diet Coke. Okay.
How am I doing?
Yeah, you're doing a pretty good
See,
job
it's
there
aged 10 years there. Do you see that? Aged 10 years.
Okay, so now you're mixing. So you got 3 fingers of bourbon, and you got Diet Coke, and you got some ice.
Okay.
Now, you take the glass,
Yep.
and you put it up next to your nose, and you sniff. Can you smell the bourbon?
No.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble. Then you take a sip. Can you taste the bourbon?
No.
So if you can smell the bourbon and you can taste the bourbon, then your smeller is working and your taster is working and you're COVID negative. Get on the boat and cruise.
Wow.
1995, folks. I'll send
Wait
you
a
my
minute. Who
PayPal
buys
address.
who has to buy the
and
bourbon,
I'll
though?
give you a thing for your phone that you can show at the port and get right on the boat.
Authorized.
That's my new business plan.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now, Nikki's with us.
Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Yep. And Elizabeth is talking to Nikki.
Yes.
Hey, Elizabeth, right here. Talk to us. No, I'm just kidding. Having a good time.
Yeah, we have some people going on a pretty cool cruise coming up.
On a what?
I won't mention any names because
Okay,
it's
can you
Nikki.
give us initials then?
Well, try NS. She's getting ready to fly to California.
Oh, I feel a princess in my future.
And she's going to go to the South Pacific.
From Southern California to the South Pacific.
On the Viking Orion.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I won't mention any names because they're in Jacksonville right now, but they're getting ready to leave.
How many sea days is that? If anybody knows, maybe someone could just know that without being the person who's going, but how many sea days does it take from from here to get to land again?
74. I have no idea.
70? No.
I didn't look it up because I'm hoping that they're going to be sending me stuff every day so I can keep up with them on this cruise because that would be fun to do. By the way, Elizabeth wants to know, can we adopt that to red wine?
Yes.
Yes, you
But
can.
there's
If you
a
can
$6
smell the red wine, then your smeller is
Yep.
working.
Yep.
And if you can taste the red wine, you probably don't want to mix the red wine with Diet Coke. That would be pretty.
But there's a $6 surcharge.
Oh, yeah. But it's -6. But that's okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still send you the thing to put on your phone. 8 sea days, Nikki says.
Yeah, that's a long time on a Viking ship. What, about 600-700 passengers?
Well, they got 200 people rowing.
Whoa! How about the guy up in front that's hitting the drum?
Yeah, no, he doesn't have to row. He just sits there and beats the damn drum. It goes heave ho, heave. That's how the Viking ships they operate that way. I know. My brother-in-law is a Viking.
Your brother-in-law. Okay.
He's old enough to be a Viking.
He could have been.
Something
He
like
could
that.
have been a beater on one of the boats.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's a sailor.
I wonder, could he have been the master beater?
I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
Because I don't know, but on my ship, I always had somebody that would put the worms on the hooks for all of the people. We could fish 11 out of my dad's big boat when he had the Eagle Eye boat.
And that was the
we
person
always had
that
a master baiter on the boat.
That was the expert baiter.
Always.
Okay, now we have to get to a serious topic here, folks. Actually, there's a couple serious things.
Ooh.
And yes, I have had a really good week, and I will say one of the things serious, and then I got to ask John a question. Many of you know that watch my daily news show that this week I started a podcast, which is that's audio only kind of thing. And it is growing just extremely well for the first week. I was talking with the network folks today about a couple things, and they're just tickled pink with the way it started off. So, really, really, very, very pleased with how it's gone so far.
Nice.
But it's
Very
now, other than my usual places for the show, which is Facebook and YouTube. Now you can always watch my podcast. You can
can't
listen to
watch
the
a
podcast. Okay.
You can listen to a podcast.
The way to get to it, you can go to my accessible blog, because I'm putting each day on the blog, even though it's not necessarily a subject for accessibility, but still it's there. So you can always go to accessadventure.net and it's there, or your favorite place to listen to podcasts, which is like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts,
Every
Amazon
place.
Music, all of them.
Awesome.
They all have it, and I'm getting a lot of blowback from people that are listening, and my numbers have jumped up, and it's been a really good week. So that was a good move from my side of things.
If we were talking blood pressure, he'd have to be on medicine. His numbers have jumped up.
Yeah. Glad to see it. By the time I get on the boat here in 3 weeks, I'll start doing some live streams from on the boat, which if my numbers jump like Pete's numbers jumped when he was on a boat, his numbers went to the roof. So I'm hoping that happens too. But anyway, so that's really my news for the week. Now, I always hate to admit it when John actually teaches me something. I hate to admit that I'm that damn dumb. But folks, do you know what footprints.tickles.slumped is? Just those 3 words, footprints.tickles.slumped. I didn't know.
///
Well, you got /// and footprints.tickles.slumped.
Yeah. // I guess.
Yeah.
Footprints.tickles.
Had no idea what that was. That made squeak to me. That's my address. Right outside the Farmo Falls. Right? It's this way. Right out that window is the front porch. And that's the address of the front porch. And Mr. Nanook of the North tells me that the whole world, that includes places like Emily in New York, and she's in the whole world. 14 by 14 for some ridiculous
16 by 16 foot square.
16 by 16 square has a 3-word address. Tell us about it, John.
Well, this was designed, it's about 10 years old now, but it's kind of come into the mainstream about 4 or 5 years ago. And the concept is it's designed, first of all, for like UPS, FedEx, any of the delivery services. How do I mail a letter to, imagine the most primitive place, a tribal village or a slum in Brazil? The slums that you see going up the hill. But these delivery companies want to, Amazon driven, let's say, but want to be able to deliver to every place in the world. How do we do that without having, city, route, box number, and there's no uniformity between any of those. Like I used to be it was just Willard Reitmeyer Route 4, Crookston, Minnesota. That was all you needed. Then it became the zip code 56716. Then they changed us to Route 1. Then they changed us to Box 24, Route 1. Then they changed us now to these new what they call the EMT emergency numbers. They picked a spot like, I'm 28 miles that way and 23 miles that way is ground zero for my region here. So I'm 28,691. That means I'm 28 miles and 691 thousandths of a mile west, and I'm on 230th Avenue, or street rather, that was Avenue, and I'm 23 miles south. And that's the formula so that emergency vehicles can now conceptually get to everywhere in the region, which is really good. But that doesn't work on a worldwide basis. So what can work on a worldwide basis? Well, you take a dictionary, it's got how many words in it now? I don't know, but hundreds of thousands.
17.
And then you multiply it by 1,700,000. Okay.
Know.
But you multiply it by 3, and when you factor, if you take 10 and you multiply it 3 times, 10 becomes 100, becomes 1,000, right? So the same thing with, if there's 1 million words, it would become 10 million words would become 100 million words, but there's more than 1 million words. So whatever. So they assigned, they cut not the entire world, just the earth. See, Chillie, you overstated it again. You do that. You got to sell it too hard. A funnel cake is still only 8 inches. But anyway, they divided the entire globe up into 16 by 16 foot squares because they feel that if they could deliver it within 16 feet, they're going to get to, the right Joe DeMungo or whomever, Bob Smith.
Julio's tent.
Exactly. So every 16 by 16 foot square on this globe now has a 3-word combination. And we looked up the one that's out where is it at Chillie's driveway? Is that the one we picked? Because you have several to pick from. You could have the one on your front door. You could have the one on your front step. You could have the one where your mailbox is. So
the
if you don't
steps
like
into the pool has its own
if you don't
address.
Like the combination of words, you can move over 16 feet and get the other side of your door. But what did we decide for you?
Footprints.tickles.slumped.
Yes. But so now you see, I only need to know those 3 words. And with my cell phone, an app on my cell phone, or the web page, what3words.com, it will take me right to Chillie's door. If Chillie was in Berlin at Gipsstrasse Zane, where that's my flat over in Germany, I can give you the 3 words. I don't have them right here. I can do that quickly. But I can give you the 3 words, and instead, rather than, Gipsstrasse, Zane, blah, 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 I can give you 3 words, and with this, or and this, and it can take you from where you are to there using the Google mapping system, and it'll find you anywhere in the world. The only thing it's not going to find is it can't do a moving target like when the propellers are spinning under your boat.
Yeah.
So
now, just to tell you how much of a cave I live in, I thought he was full of, when he started telling me this whole line of stuff. Until I got in my computer, which I believe my computer a whole lot quicker than I believe John. And come to find out that the hell he's right.
Of course I'm right. I wouldn't, as much as I joke around, I would never, tell you anything different than that.
Well, I absolutely did not know the first thing about this 3-word address system.
Matter of fact, if you, do I have?
Uh-oh, you went dark.
Yeah, I'm just seeing. Oh. I don't have my computer plugged into one of my inputs at the moment, or I could pop over to it and
Okay.
Next week I will have my other laptop as input number 4, and then I can just, show it on the screen. So.
Yeah, that's in John's big ass studio in front of the cruise ship in Crookston, Minnesota. Getting that cruise ship to Crookston, Minnesota was a chore.
Well, especially because the river is not straight long enough. So we had to. You can see the
38
ship
below zero.
You can see the ship is bent a little bit. If you would put me on the screen a different way, give me a full picture here. You got the power.
Oh, okay.
See, I had to bend the ship. I had to bend the ship to get it on the river.
Okay. Yeah, I can't believe everything he says. All right. By the way, folks, next couple weeks on my usual show stuff, it's going to be busy.
Busy.
We got
Countdown.
lovely Janine Williamson is with me Monday. You know, she came over and invaded this country.
She did.
And did a whole bunch of pictures and writing from the MSC seaside.
That's their biggie,
Since that's my second cruise is on the seaside, we're going to talk to Janine about what I need to do on board that boat.
That's their big ship, isn't that MSC's big mama right now?
Yep.
That's the big mama. Okay.
So that's going to be Monday. Then on Thursday, we got Crazy Shelby, Shelby from Travel Fun Biz. As a matter of fact, Shelby will not be the only one with the captain's hat on anymore. I will wear a captain's hat when Shelby's on from now on so that, you know, she's not alone.
So you've been designated captain of the bathtub boat fleet or what?
Absolutely. Okay. Actually, what we're going to talk to Shelby about, she's starting some travel agent training. So some folks out there might be interested in becoming a travel agent.
By the way, folks, in the comments, give me your address and I will give you your 3 words back.
Okay, that'd be cool. Stick your address in and
Emily, I'm feeling totally well. This is a thing about the fact that it was 38 below zero yesterday morning.
Yeah.
38 below. By the way, 40 and 40 is the same in Celsius or Fahrenheit. When it gets to 40 below, it's 40 below on either scale. That's the only place that they match up. 40 below is 40 below.
Wow. Tell them what your son did with the hot water.
Oh, well, there again, yeah. I should have that video, and I don't. Yeah. You can make snow. This has been a thing that weathermen up here kind of do once a year when it gets to that extreme cold. You take a pan of hot water, and you need a light behind you. You got to have that reverse lighting effect. And you take the pan and you like sweep it like this, and you end up with like a 20-foot arc of snow, little snowflakes. And if you have a mic by them, you can actually hear them go ting 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 as they fall down to the ground. It is the coolest thing. And this is how they actually generate snow in the ski zones and areas. It's cold and they're running hot water through that, and by under pressure, it atomizes that hot water, and each little droplet turns to a snowflake and falls down and builds artificial snow. Now, if you're a real skier, some people say it's not the same. It's not the same as having God's own create. The same people that are atheists and don't believe in God will tell you that God makes better snow. I don't understand how that really works, but anyway, that's what that is. So,
okay,
yes.
So
nobody's
how
giving
many
me their address. They don't. I won't tell the world your address. I'll just tell you the three words, or give me an address of a favorite place that you have. Give me the name. I mean, ports are easy, so let's not do ports. But do you want to know the Statue of Liberty's entrance door? Do you want to? Mike is Encounter Engine Rescue.
He's looked up Mike, his own.
That's all you need to do is put a business card with the name Mike, and then that line there / encounter.engine.rescue. It's all you need for a business card. It's everything you need. Or put your email address, and that would be totally everything you need then.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Mike. That was awesome.
Encounter.engine.rescue. That's great. That's a good one.
Now, I don't know if anybody's keeping track of this today, folks. We've talked about tongue, and we've talked about snowflakes. Snowflakes and tongue on the same show.
Well, haven't you ever didn't you go out as a little kid and try and catch a snowflake?
That
was entertainment. I'm so old that was entertainment, man.
Speaking of snowflakes, it was 75 degrees in Virginia yesterday. 75. Now, that's ridiculous for January 1st.
Yeah.
It's going to be 20 tomorrow.
Oh, we've been admonished. We are admonished.
Talk about cruising.
Or was the statement, talk about cruising?
Yes. All right. Talk
Okay,
about
so the
cruising.
cruising poo, what should we say? The virus is terrible. Some people don't want to cruise. The food isn't the same as it used to be. Help us here. This is not in any way meant to be sarcastic or my joking self or anything in any way. What is the next thing that we can talk about in cruising? Because, you know, I'm sorry, but we've been doing this a couple of years and we have beat to death, you know, the wonderful views, the wonderful experiences, the wonderful food, the wonderful drink package, the drink of the day. So we're just trying to have a camaraderie here of people who like to cruise, and as issues come up and we talk about them, but tell me what I'm totally open and totally receptive to this. Matter of fact, we would pay for a good cruise show idea because you know, should I get a balcony or shouldn't I get a balcony? Should I should I bring my cat on? I'm only doing that because Ace has just showed up here. You know, should I bring my cat or shouldn't I bring my cat?
Who was it? Oh, it's Sharon. Sharon's taking her dog on her next cruise.
Now,
Sharon,
Sharon, tell us about that, because I understood that just a support animal is there, that's out of bounds at the moment. It has to legitimately be like a blind seeing eye dog, or you know, one of those other specially trained animals.
I don't know. She just got the approval. I was on a Viking, not a Viking, a Virgin Voyages cruise, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen Sharon in the audience today. I'll have to ask her about that because I'm not
totally interested, Sharon.
I'm
Because,
not totally sure, but I'm pretty sure that she did. Of course, it's going to be hard not to mention the whole business with the CDC. Because I mean, what can you say? I disagree totally with what the CDC did. I think the CDC is going against their own numbers. Royal Caribbean, okay, their report card, and this came from my buddy Dave Monk over there. He actually interviewed the CEO of Royal Caribbean. They have carried 1.1 million passengers. Out of 1.1 million passengers since they started back in June, they had 1,745 positives. That's a positivity rate of 0.02%. If you break that down further, of the 1,745 positives on all the Royal Caribbean ships, and this was up through 2 weeks ago, they had 41 people that were actually admitted to a hospital. No deaths. So their overall hospitalization rate was 2.3%, which is 0.003% of the entire 1.1 million.
now let's compare. The county I live in has about 45,000 people.
Yeah.
And about 3,000 cases.
Right. So the CDC and saying it's not safe to cruise, give me any town, city, any entity in this country that has a positivity rate of 0.02%. There's not one. Which tells me when I leave here in 3 weeks to go get on Freedom of the Seas, which is my first cruise back, once I get to the boat and get on the boat, I'm going to be a hell of a lot safer than I am in going from Virginia to Miami and getting from Miami airport over to the port and onto the boat. So now, yeah, I'm notwithstanding that this variant's bad, but as long as you're vaccinated and you're boosted, especially, Yeah, there'll be breakthrough cases. I admit that. I know that. And I know there's going to be cases on the ship. But to me, the protocols are working. It might not be the way we like it to be. I mean, there's things about cruising that, I don't want to wear a mask all the time on the ship. I don't want to socially distance, but I'm going to so I can cruise. John brought out probably to me the most poignant thing about cruising in today's world when he was on the Epic was that the thing he missed the most was the facial contact with people that you pass or chat with or talk to, because their face is covered and you don't see smiles.
That's what I live on.
And so, yeah. So I feel, it's going to be things about cruising today that I'm not going to like, but I'm going to be cruising. So, and safer than it is for me. 9/10 of a mile here is, I call it the Taj Kroger, which is a humongous Kroger store. I'm a hell of a lot safer when I get on that boat than I am to go down to Kroger's and go in and buy a bottle of Diet Coke.
Because you don't know how many people there politically have said, I ain't going to get one of them shots because they're putting secret stuff in my body, and and I'm just going to breathe on everybody because I don't believe in it because God's going to protect me.
Yep.
But you don't have those people on the ship.
All right. Mike says, overall heading of solos, subheading solo supplements, rip-off lines to avoid with supplement of nearly 100% lines offering low or no supplements, lines providing facilities specifically for singles, meetups, meals, cocktail solo lounges, etc.
But see, Mike, I'm not sure that I understand what if you're asking there, or you think we should publish that, because the problem is we're hitting at a moving target now. Because like on the Epic, I expected there to be the whole solo fun that I'm used to in many, many crossings, and it was all gone. There was no cruise director for the solo group. As I said on past shows, but there was one night I'm sitting at my own table of 4, but I'm alone. And I looked around and there was 8 other single people just right next to me, each of us on our own table of 4 or 6 people, but one person at the table. And I wanted to just get up and say, hey, just come over. The hell with this. Just come over. I'll risk it if you'll risk talking. I'm totally vaccinated. I probably had COVID a couple years ago anyway. I've had my booster. I've had my flu shot, and I brushed my teeth. Come on over and join my table. Because I was just fed up with it. But not the ship's fault. Believe me, I'm not blaming it. The only thing I'm blaming Norwegian for is they got to get rid of the damn black masks. They should have 30 different kinds of masks, and everyone should be cheery and happy, whether it's a happy face or just flowers or something. But they thought that they were going to look cool by having like the Dracor commercial, the guy that's, all buff and has this black face mask on for effect. But when you got 1,200 of those staring you in the face, it's a little funerally. Can I make up that word? Funerally?
Sure. Why not?
And that's my suggestion to please somebody pass it on to NCL, any of the other cruise lines, anybody you got a restaurant. Don't think you're hip because you're putting people in black masks. Have one guy. If you got a cool guy that can walk around all buff and looks like Schwarzenegger in 1965, put them in a black mask. Everybody else,
give them a smile.
Put a smile on it. Have them draw on it. Anything, but have everyone be unique and different. So at least when you're looking at it, you make eye contact. It's like, oh, that's cool. I mean, something's going on instead of. It was like dun 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 dun. Sorry.
Yeah.
Singing is not my thing. Oh, solo mio.
Yeah. There you go. You're back to drinking that brandy again. Of course, if it was minus 38 outside, I'd be drinking brandy too.
Dude, I yearn for the years that I used to be able to sit and drink 3 fingers of brandy, and I'm 4 years with hardly a swallow. On the cruise, on 2 weeks of cruise, I had 1 bottle of wine, and it lasted me like 4 evening meals. And that was my entire alcohol, and 1 beer. which I purchased the wrong beer. I purchased a Stella Artois. You know that brand of beer?
No.
Well, don't. It tastes like water. It was like worse than water. It was terrible. And it was $11 or something because I didn't buy the package because I don't drink, right? So,
Yeah.
I wish this was brandy, man.
Cruising Poo points out CDC will be strictly advisory in a couple of weeks. Yep, that's true. I personally, I believe that their position will stay pretty much the same with the cruise lines, even though they're going to be in an advisory capacity. Pretty sure they're going to keep advising. I'm not, of course, they could still, with their color charts and all, if they ever get to a red on their color chart, which would be actually something that they would have to do something about, but there has been no red on the color chart yet. So, anyway.
I want to cruise. I want to be on a boat, but I want to be on a boat with my friends. Chillie, I want you to get on this boat on, what is it, the 26th? What's our
27th is my first one, yeah.
What day?
Monday, the 27th.
Monday what? 27th?
Yeah.
Okay, so 27 and it's 25 days to go. I'm gonna get me a piece of paper where I'm ripping off the days here now.
You're not in sync again. We did that once before the show started.
I know, and it's really fun to just do a bunch of little action things then when that's happening, so that it's like a cartoon.
That's because the signal in Crookston, Minnesota is frozen.
No. It works better. It's light through a fiber cable. The colder it is, the sharper and crisper the colors. No.
Yeah, you're so full of.
I know I'm full of crap, but you are too. If you think that in the old days that would be true, I mean, but it's not. This is not at all derivative of the weather outside. So I just think that StreamYard, our chosen provider, but all the providers are, they just get overblown every once in a while. Okay, Mike says, you asked for ideas. I agree the situation is worse for solos at the moment. But Mike, I don't mean that you shouldn't go. I just mean that you should know what's happening. We all need to know figures to push for change, like the point about depressing funeral. Hey, great. Thanks, Mike. I agree with you. Yeah, you bet. Monday, the 24th.
The other thing to point out about my schedule coming up next week, not this next week, I did that. The following week, we got lovely Sue Bryant, the cruise editor of the London Times.
I'll be good, I promise.
Who is in the process of publishing I think something ridiculous, a 48-page supplement to the Times on cruising.
No kidding.
That Sue has been working on for ever.
Now, can we buy this? Can we get a link to it digitally?
I'm sure.
These are questions that have to be in the system here.
Yeah, I'm sure we can ask Sue that when she's here too.
Yeah,
when I talk to her about that. And then on Thursday, I believe it is Thursday that week, I'm going to have Chris Wood on, who is been dealing with airlines for several years now about the whole process of flying when you're disabled and the manhandling of wheelchair patients to get them into seats on airplanes, as opposed to I'm lucky I can walk enough to go from the door of the plane to my seat. Okay. So they don't have to manhandle me, but somebody that has no ambulatory nature at all. I mean, they literally get manhandled out of their chairs and into the seats, and it's awful.
I don't understand why there's not an opening on a plane like there is in some buses now.
Yeah.
Where the person's loaded, like in the terminal, in a private place, and then the seat just comes onto the plane.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make a whole lot more sense and way more dignified? And
Well, that's one of the things we're going to ask him because he's been
Okay.
dealing with airlines worldwide.
Hmm.
So he'll be an interesting guest.
And Europe, in my humble opinion, does the on-off way better than America does.
Yeah.
I mean, with the box trucks that they have that come up on the right side of the plane, and kind of separate you from that flow of people, and I mean, that is when the first time that happened. Of course, I was also I'm sure it was Mother Teresa. It wasn't. She was already passed on, but there was a little nun and three nuns with her, and she was really disabled, and I had never experienced that before. I got into Frankfurt, and it was like, just wait there, and we'll come get you. And then they walked me to the front of the plane and to the right instead of to the left, and I'm in this little room that you could have roll-on wheelchairs. It had seats on it. I sat down and they had my walker there already waiting for me, and that was up at plane height. But then it ultimately went all the way down to the ground, right at the baggage entrance, and I skipped the whole runway concourse, blah, 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 to get to where I needed to go. Wow.
Okay. Cruising Poo asks, where's the Freedom leaving from? Freedom of the Sea sails from Miami on the 24th. It's a shorty, 4-dayer, I think, and it goes to Nassau and Coco Key. And then I get back into Miami. I'm there a day and get on MSC Seashore for 7 nights. And then I get back and I'm in Miami another day and get on MSC Divina for 7 days. So this first one around, I'm going side to side to side, 3 cruises. And then I come home and I'm home for a couple of weeks and I go again. And that's pretty much that way for the first 6 months of the year. I'm going to be gone more than I'm home. So.
But we're going to keep the link alive here. We're going to make sure that everybody knows that we got a show. Chillie's got his show going, and I'm going to do the technology on this end to make sure that he's reaching out to people every day. It's going to be really cool. Even if we're down to voice, we'll get him on.
So Katie wants to know where Martin is. We don't know. Actually, I think Martin has some kind of family thing today, and he said that, and I didn't want to go back and figure out where in the last show it was, because the last show was before Christmas.
When the Queen calls,
yeah,
the subjects respond. I mean, he's somewhere with.
Maybe he's with the Queen. That could be. I'm Martin and the Queen.
I'm sure he's with the Queen somewhere. So
yeah. Mike says, I experienced manhandling of my parents when they became wheelchair bound in Europe. It was subhuman and technically illegal, but the airlines are too big to challenge. Yeah, that's what's been going on for a couple of years now, is they're trying to crack into that and getting the airlines to come around to the situation that we find ourselves in. And again, I'm lucky, comparatively, because I can, either between my scooter or using a wheelchair service at the airport, get right up to the door of the plane. And as long as my seat is toward the front, which I try to do, I can walk that far and get to my seat, and then I'm okay. If I had to walk the length of the plane, I probably would be in trouble. But a lot of people that are in the accessible space aren't that lucky, and the way the airlines do it is just, there's got to be a better way. That's why I'm having the man on, because he's been involved with it. Actually, it was initiated because of he has 2 children that started him down this pathway several years ago. So it'll be an interesting interview.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to that.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
So any idea when your weather is going to break up there in Crookston, Nanaca, North Minnesota?
Let me give you, a real good heartbeat on that. I'm gonna reload it here again, but we always look out 10 days, and give me just a second here like I said. Okay. these are the coming up lows here now, which this is great. Tonight, -2. Tomorrow, -3. Tuesday, -4. But Wednesday, -15. Thursday, -27. And then again,
goes to hell.
Friday, -5. Then -13. Then -17. See, and that's the 9th already. That's next Sunday. So it'll be, for Sunday's show again, it'll have been 17 degrees overnight, below zero. Then -3, then -2. That's as far out as we can see right now. But, hoping that this is an Arctic blast that's come down from literally, if you think of the Rocky Mountains as they go up into Canada, that's where it starts. And the jet stream moves, and it's supposed to stay up there way north of us, like in Hudson Bay, and the jet stream moved down and just brings that cold air and just sweeps it across us, and usually into Chicago. You see all the news stories of Chicago and the snow and stuff. And but it comes down and it's got this arc to it, and it goes back up, and we're just in what we call an Arctic freeze, an Alberta clipper, we call it sometimes, because from us it comes right from Alberta and it's fast, so it's the Alberta clipper. So.
I one time did a video on that we should give North and South Dakota and Montana back to Canada. I think we should probably involve those northern counties of Minnesota too, and just because it's damn cold for normal people.
See, but you don't understand that as you go west from here, like where Calgary, Alberta is, significantly north of me, they will never get weather like this, but they will get not a monsoon, but what do they call it?
A blizzard.
No. They'll get a Chinook. And all of a sudden it'll be 50 degrees with the sun shining bright, and all the snow will melt 2-3 times in the winter. They get what are called Chinook winds. And so, that you just don't know. Okay, Happy New Year, Emily. Thank you. Poory. What did Elizabeth Stern mean? Poor why?
Poor you.
Poor me. Oh, am I? Was that okay? I don't know who she's saying poor to. So
you.
Why?
For being in that damn cold, the ridiculous temperatures.
Hey, we leave our doors open and you leave the keys in the car. Because why do you want somebody waking you up in the middle of the night just to get warm? It's like the keys are there. If you feel you need the car, start it up and take it. It's got a full tank of gas. If yours broke down, cell phones have changed that. It used to be, no, seriously, you'd leave the door open because the phones were always in the kitchen, right by the porch, right by the door. And so, hey, if you need to come in and use the phone, don't bother me. Just the door's open. Come on in and use the phone. So, come on, you guys. My cameras, I can see that I have to tie my camera down because Ace just about knocked one of them on the floor.
Was that a tail that just went by?
That was a tail that just went by. We brought him in from the other trailer where this video studio was, and he wintered. He was outside all summer daytimes. He'd come in at night. But we brought him into this trailer now that's connected to my home. It's home, big office, and then the trailer's tied to the other side of the office. So I don't have to go outside to do any of this stuff. But he's still getting used to the place. He's like looking around and finding everything.
So now today on this entire show, we've talked about tongues. We've talked about snowflakes.
Bourbon.
And bourbon. Yes, bourbon. Lots of bourbon.
Ships. Handicapped on ships. Airplanes handicapped on airplanes.
Speaking of bourbon, and
God, I wish I had a bourbons.
That's another negative COVID test, folks. 1995. just send it on, and I'll send you the thing.
We just
1995, and we'll get you hooked right up so you can get straight on the boat.
Actually, we got to put a kit together, and it's got to be a little airplane bottle of bourbon, and we got to say that it's a COVID test, and we're going to package that up. We're going to make that a thing, man. It'll sell like $1 million on Amazon. It'll be a in-home COVID test.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
That's great. You know what? We killed another hour on Sunday afternoon.
We hope we brought a little joy into your lives. We are cruisers at heart, but these are just unusual times, and And we hope that, you know, we can just stay happy, and better days are coming. I believe that beyond measure.
Me too. Better days are clearly coming for me. But I tell you what, I was glad to see the new year start.
Yeah.
This one had a lot more meaning for me than any have in my past 71, 2 of how many ever damn years it's been.
By the way, if you the betting line is still open if you want to bet on whether Chillie's going to actually go in his cruise or not, and it's about 3.7 to 1 right now.
Yep. Go ahead, bet all you want. I'm going. Don't get in my way, folks.
I'm still taking the odds.
Boy, if you do, I'm a big fat guy, and I'm going to run right over your butt.
I want you to get Chillie. I want you to get on that ship. Don't misunderstand. I want you to get on that boat. I really do. I really do. Ace does too. Here, come on, buddy. Let's say goodbye. Nope.
Emily's with me. She's betting on me.
Good.
And thank you, Mike. Thanks for being with us. Sorry if you overstated your. Oh hell no! The good Lord, no, Mike. That's perfectly acceptable. Good heavens. The only person that ever oversteps their bounds on our show is the sex bombers, and I cut them right off.
Even I have mixed feelings about them. You know, Chillie's a little more aggressive in getting rid of them. I think we should invite them on. So
yeah, we might get taken off the air permanently. All right, Ace. Glad to see you, Ace. Glad to see you too, John. All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up. We'll see everybody next Sunday, same time, same place. If you're out and about on Monday, I'll be on at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come see me.
Show. You get all sorts of information. Lots of information.
All right. That's it for today. This is the old fat travel guy. See y'all next time.